If you've spent your whole life taking care of everyone else and you're finally realizing no one's coming to rescue you, this one's for you. On this episode, I show you how we go from fawn to flow. Every adventure became a lesson in releasing what drained me and embodying what sustained me. I was practicing what I'd published in my book, Namaste, Away and Thrive, Release Negative Influences and Love Yourself. I used to think balance meant holding everything together. Turns out it meant letting go, and Nature's Healing Symphony taught me that lesson. Each hike and adventure, whether in snow or sunset by the lake, taught me the courage to let go. And as I devoted the month to healing my heart and filling my cup with self-love, releasing everything that drained me and flowing back to who I really was. Love, because love is the way home back to your heart. Welcome to my channel, This Way to Bliss, where I hike and explore and car camp in my hybrid SUV and heal through nature, one hop, skip, and step at a time. Hi, I'm Candace J. Frazier. This is my story of growing through grief instead of giving up, resetting my nervous system and breaking my addiction to chaos and confusion. Out here, I found the strength to keep going and the first sparks of balance, bliss, and freedom. I have so many adventures to share, so please make sure that you like, subscribe, and share with your friends. It really helps us out. Hello, my friend. If you missed the last episode, I Choose Me. Our nature adventures included winter hikes and ASMR of snow, rivers, frogs, and sunsets. Realizing I needed to become the guide I needed, this season taught me that joy wasn't found in comfort, but through courage. So if you're navigating anxiety, depression, addiction recovery, empty nesting, heartbreak, or simply trying to rebuild your sense of self, you're in the right place, and I suggest checking out this video. Because this journey isn't just mine, it's ours. And I have the roadmap for anyone ready to turn their pain into purpose as well. It's linked above. Sometimes balance doesn't come from stillness alone. It comes from learning to flow. Watching the white swan dip beneath the surface while the black one circled above, I saw the dance between my own light and shadow, the divine feminine and masculine learning to coexist, one diving deep for truth, the other holding space for grace. Together, they taught me that healing isn't about choosing sides. It's about finding rhythm between reflection and movement. And that's when I started listening even deeper to the wisdom nature was whispering. Simple, sacred truths that rebuild us from the inside out. The 7 best doctors I found for wholeness. Nature baths became the heart of my metamorph process, where self-awareness, play, and presence turned into healing, a full-bodied transformation. Shift from survive to thrive. You see, after decades of trying to earn love from people who couldn't give it, I had finally began asking myself, what if I stopped chasing and started choosing? After a childhood filled with emotionally immature, absent, and abusive parents, I learned to fawn, to stay small, fix everyone else's storms, and call that safety. But surviving, that's not living. This became my classroom, nature, immersing in it, learning breath instead of control, movement and flow instead of fear. Nature was my mirror. With a break between winter storms, I geared up and headed off on a day trip to the lake. Winter had slowed me down, asking me to pause, reflect, and rebuild my roots. And I didn't know it then, but this season of stillness was preparing me for a call, much louder than comfort. And ironically, the ocean was already whispering my name, but I settled for a local lake instead. I was practicing letting go of expectations and perfection and realizing that letting go wasn't losing. It was actually vibrational choosing. Choosing soul guidance, courage, freedom, and inner harmony. Because when love broke me, I chose me. I rebuilt trust and safety in nature, step by step, breath by breath. As the sun lowered over the water, I practiced being here. Every inhale whispered, trust your intuition. Every exhale said, let go of what no longer serves. I wasn't trying to perfect a pose. I was practicing forgiveness of my body, my choices, and my past. Practice didn't make perfect. Practice made peace. And I began to see life with childlike wonder even more, trusting it would work out for the best, and learning to forgive quickly and laughing when I fell, getting back up and reframing failure as feedback and levers instead of limitations. My mind, you see, is a muscle like my body, and when I gave it a positive, peaceful flow, my glow returned. I learned to celebrate my life, to stop blowing out the flame of my own greatness. I claimed to myself, I am ready to trust my intuition to guide me in all areas of my life toward my highest good, which ironically meant now I'm going to have to learn even more on how to trust my intuition. And if anyone knows, if you've gone through any type of trauma, especially narcissistic abuse, it causes a lot of damage, most importantly to your ability to feel safe and to trust others. So I had a lot of hurdles to overcome, but I was determined to overcome them and to stop being stuck in survival mode and to finally thrive, to break free of burnout, of breakdowns, of overwhelm and shutdown. And the more I studied books like The Body Keeps Score, Waking the Tiger Within, and various other holistic books that talked about how to overcome this, I realized that with yoga, it allowed me to move my body and be in my breath without being in a freak out mode or having my nervous system go into a flare, but instead it went into flow. How cool is that? And I actually created a little tag for myself, yoga, you overcome great adversity. And boy, was I overcoming it leaps and bounds. Every time I learned to find my balance and realize that even if I fail, that was just feedback and an opportunity to hold my core tighter, tap into my heart and my breath, and really lean into what life was putting in front of me, because I'm a warrior. And in that awareness was, I've already been through so much. This has to be the best part of it now. Even though I don't know what's coming, that unknown uncertainty can sometimes bring fear for those of us that have gone through that. I started asking myself, well, what if I let go of that belief and adopt a new one? And so I began to transform and transcend those loops and that cycle of maladaptive coping mechanisms that kept me chasing love, safety, and belonging outside of myself, and learning to become love, safety, and belonging for myself through my daily actions of self-care, like immersing myself in nature, making sure I was hydrated with the appropriate fluids that would bring alkalinity to my body and say goodbye to acidity, and nourishing myself in a way that fueled me instead of burning me out and making me sick, because I had overcome a lot of food sensitivities and allergies at this point, and I still had a ways to go because this is future Candace here in the recording, but it didn't matter because I was coming from a place of curiosity, wonder, and seeking an awareness, and having the courage to do that helped me to open up to the exponential growth that helped me to achieve that impossible that I thought I couldn't ever achieve, which was epic love, safety, and belonging. And I did it with Nature's Healing Symphony as my guide. And the first step is choosing to surrender to the old story, because until you do that, you cannot let go of what you have not acknowledged and accepted, including this very obnoxiously loud and lo-fi playing that is about to disrupt my yoga and my peace. Which I saw as an invitation to just surrender and let go, choosing flow over fawn, freeze, or fight. Okay, I'm going to show you how simple and easy a healthy dinner is to make on the go. I am camp picnicking or lunch snacking, I don't know what you want to call it, out of the back of my car because I am at the lovely lake and watching sunset. So I must hurry. I don't want to miss the sunset. So we'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And so this is how we're going to make the salad. This is just the sweet kale with broccoli, green cabbage, kale, Brussels sprouts, papitas, radicchio, and cranberries with poppy seed dressing. And I have some raspberry poppy seed dressing additionally that I got from home because, well, me like it. So it's real simple. You
goodie bag out. Open your, I think this is the 1 gallon Ziploc. And then you add in all the ingredients that you want to put in your salad. And yes, I'm putting extra nuts in. Fuel my body. And guess what? This bag doubles as a garbage bag. So, and then I have some of these. I love me some Fuji apple chips. So we got some of those. Just a little. And then the dressing. I've also got some deli chicken strips here, which I will, after I shake this salad, I will take all the breading off of the chicken strips because I can't do any dairy because it makes me violently ill. And then I will also take some of these chips, just a handful, crunch them up and put them on the salad as like croutons. And then I'll add some black olive hummus and shake that in it as well. And then for dessert, I have a rice quinoa cake with sliced banana, and I have, where is it? This is the best part. Cashew butter. It's like dessert galore. Dessert gone bad, but good. And then some mixed fresh fruit. And then I'll put pistachios over the sliced bananas, which I put over the cashew butter. And then that becomes like a little treat. And so that is an easy, simple, easy peasy dinner. And I'm gonna let you just watch the sunset for a minute. Whoop, sorry. So there you go. You can watch that for a minute. Quite spectacular.
It might seem silly to some that something as simple as taking a picnic and going to the lake and putting up my hammock brought me so much joy, and it felt like medicine. And the more I began to immerse myself in the study of nature therapy, I realized it was medicine. And it was also showing me how to be curious again, to trust, and to begin to believe that everything works out for my highest good, which is very much the opposite of how I had been conditioned to believe that when things went wrong, it was my fault. And if people weren't happy, it was my fault. If they left, it was because I'd done something wrong, when in reality, it wasn't always that truth. More on that later. At this point, seeing the value of my health coaching certification to help me learn how to eat for wellness. But now it's time to get set up to have my sunset picnic for my hammock. But I had to set up the chair for my little hua hua Zizi so she would have a comfy spot in her nice little warm toasty blanket. I get so giddy when I'm preparing to watch nature's cinema.
Like missing the most important show ever.
The biggest flex was no more codependency and chasing love, safety, and belonging, and learning to be happy in my own company and enjoying my own company. A massive shift from codependency and afraid of being by myself and agoraphobic, which all traces back to the core wound of being abandoned.
Little Miss Zizi,
who ironically also had anxiety and attachment issues from being abandoned by her previous owner multiple times before I adopted her. And if I could create trust and safety for her with me, I could do that with me for me, right? And I do.
Alrighty, we're gonna watch the sunset.
In my experience, what I was able to unravel was the reality of having been abandoned at such an early age wired my brain for fear of being alone because it wouldn't be safe. It's also a biological trait that we also hold, because epigenetically being in solitude would be unsafe because you had no tribe, no community, and that wasn't safe back then. So really mind-blowing, the neuroscience and psychology behind everything that I was going through in this moment and continue to. Nature baths and nature's healing symphony was truly my newfound medicine. We all know a bath relaxes and renews us, but nature bathing does the same. All I had to do was be present in its embrace. Of course, bubbles of nakedness are optional, but it's still simple, effective, and free. Nature modeled flexibility, grace, and unconditional presence. It reminded me that humans can reflect the same. And a reminder again that letting go wasn't losing. It was vibrational choosing. In every breath of February, I could feel life quietly rerouting me, aligning me for something bigger. I didn't realize I was being guided back toward the same places where my old stories began. And only this time, I'd meet them with self-love instead of self-abandonment. Because my theme was, love may have broke me, but now I'm not chasing it. I'm choosing me. And as I watched the lake, it mirrored that choice with every ripple.
And just like that. And it's put away. And it's super lightweight. Bam, bam, bam. That was pretty cool.
And if you're wondering about the durability of the hammock, it's now November of 2025. And I still have it, and it's working like a charm. I'll let you have some ASMR here with the ducks and the frogs watching the sunset. As I panned over the Folsom City and Granite Bay lights, I was just in awe of the natural beauty surrounding me and the sounds, the smells. I was at peace. I was at home in my heart. I was in a state of bliss.
Can't show you how pink it is, but wow. And Venus. It is 6:30 on a Monday night, but feels like a Friday night. That's the kind of bliss life I'm talking about. Freedom, balance, alignment, ascended out of the hell of survive and into thrive. Yeah. The metamorph strategy into badass bliss. Available now. I see you sitting there. You got yourself backed into a corner in mind jail. You know things gotta change. But you're terrified to try one more time because you're terrified to try and fail and be yet another disappointment to not just yourself but everybody. And so you embrace the comfort of the hell that you're in, because it's better that the devil you do know than the devil you don't. But sweetie, it doesn't have to be that way. It's time for you to rise and ascend out of that hell. What if it doesn't have to be? What if there's levers to get you out easily, without difficulty, without forcing change, but rather focusing instead on choice? Yes, it is possible. I did it, and I want to share with you.
All right, so nature bath, as always, successful. And I was just having a thought and thought I would share this life hack with you. I used to hate Mondays, could not get motivated for them. So instead of making Monday a work day, as an entrepreneur, I can make my own schedule. So Monday became a Monday, so Monday. And so I go play, but in creative play, I'm actually creating for my business. So I'm not really playing, but I'm kind of working, but I'm not working, I'm playing. So follow your passion, whatever you love doing, and you lose time. Listen to what your soul says. It knows. If you want to know how to hack it, then usually a mentor can help with that. And if you want to know more life hacks, keep following me because I'll be sharing them. Small hinges swing big doors. I was also finding a lot of benefit in light therapy for the happy vitamins and to raise my vibration, and especially potent in battling seasonal affective disorder. February's motto was chasing sunsets, not love and suffering. And it brought me back to this spot again where I captured some phenomenal footage of this sunset. Zizi always enjoyed being by my side on these adventures. She's 12 years old at this point, and I know I probably don't have a lot of time left with her, so having her with me as much as possible was the goal, because I know what it's like to feel alone in the world, and I didn't want my pup to feel that. So back to the lake we went to take some more footage and to practice playing in the now.
So profoundly beautiful world. It's a beautiful world.
And take those photos, capture those memories, take those videos, save them, because someday you will look back on them and be so glad that you took the time to take that footage. I promise you, it's worth it. Who cares if you look silly doing it? That's them projecting their own sense of fear out into the world through judgment. So let them move forward. Just be you, but have fun doing it. The more I let go of worrying about what everybody else thought, wanted, needed, etc., the more peace and pleasure I found within my own existence, which after 5 decades of what I had been through, it was a newfound and very welcomed experience. It's the Chi-Hoo-Hoo Zizi Boo Boo. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What are some tips and tricks that you also found that helped you come back home to yourself in the fallout of adversity? It was time to move my body and stretch and move with the flow of life and breathe deeply into my bliss. So I busted out my yoga mat and I got busy with what I was calling love over ego so flow, because that was where I was at in that moment, was alchemizing my ego with love and doing it through daily actions of intentional and conscious self-care, which is what I now call the Namaste way. Zizi's done eating her dinner, my yoga sesh is done, so now it's time to sit in reflective meditation and just be present with all that is in this moment surrounding me. Off over here. Full of gratitude and grace, seeing my own grit, but it was also starting to get a little cold, so it was time to pack up and get ready to head back home. Such a beautiful canvas that nature paints for us, isn't it? A reflection of how I'd stopped chasing love and embodied it. And what's February without a little bit of a fun snow day trip? So I made my way up to one of my favorite hiking spots up in the Crystal Recreation area. And this is the Bassy Falls hike, covered in snow. And let me tell you, snow hikes without the proper gear, learning lesson taken. Got it. Don't do it without the proper gear.
Yeah.
And my original plan was to snowboard, but that snow was not very friendly, and I'm not a fan of falling on hard, icy snow. No thanks, especially with fibromyalgia, arthritis, all kinds of issues. Not my friend. But I definitely love picnicking in nature like that and sitting by the river and listening to it. I'll be quiet now so you can enjoy the ASMR as well. Nature's lessons were, the rivers were teaching me courage to let go. The snow was teaching me patience. Healing after narcissistic abuse wasn't a single sunrise. It was thawing layer by layer, learning that silence didn't mean punishment, it meant presence. And replacing that voice that says prove yourself with one that whispers be yourself. As I traversed the trail the next day, I had an awareness that if they weren't loving me, no matter how I begged, sacrificed, wished, or prayed, it was time to let go and let them walk out. That included negative influences of habits and beliefs as well.
Sunday are for self-care. Take me to the river. So I did.
It was obvious people that were disconnected from their own self-love can't give healthy, balanced love. And the more you try to love them unconditionally, the more their inner wounds will push back like a cornered animal. Seems I had been trying to convince a cactus it wasn't a cactus. And self-love turned me toward better soil. In the past, with unhealthy partners, the more I loved me, the deeper they tried to pull me into ego's abyss. And the more I would fawn and try to chase in order to prove my worth. As I became a healthy partner to myself and the more I loved me, what I gave my inner being returned like a boomerang. Self-love was the recipe for healthy and happy. If my beliefs could cage me, they could also unlock the door. For me, my unconditional love for others had been a bondage to my own pain. When I became the source of unconditional love that I used to seek outside of myself, that's when everything changed. Traversing the trail was reclamation. I was standing whole in spaces that once broke me.
Okay, let's play a game with our inner child. Remember that game? The floor is lava. So, got to stay on the rocks. And you know what? Oh, shoot. I just fell in the lava. Ah! The cool thing about this is it forces you to stay in the moment, focused on the now. So, what a fun way to practice and flex the muscle of staying present in the fun of now, which is being love and makes life wow. Happy rocking. I don't know what you want to call it, but remember, have fun. See through the eyes of a child. Be curious and loving and forgiving, and you'll have bliss. And also balance so you don't fall in the lava.
Another lake sunset height to reset my groove. The lake greeted me like an old friend, same water, same light. Yet with each hike, I was different. No longer chasing love, now embodying it. I could stand in my reflection and feel I am enough. I am not too much. Those old beliefs were beginning to fade.
Wow, somebody really did that. And back to here.
This new, deeper awareness of how every judgment I had thrown in front of my own happiness had been hijacking my bliss, like putting additives in my gas tank and wondering why I was stalling out. By stopping the cycle of abandoning myself and tending to my energy first, that's when I started creating flow over fawn and realizing happiness starts at home, and my home is my heart. And when the dark night returned, I remembered I am the sun. I also began to sense that the next step in my evolution wasn't about just another lake or a mountain. It was about answering a deeper call, to journey farther, to test limits of my own self-trust and really push up against my sense and fear of being alone, not being safe, and transforming it into I am my own safety. And as February was ending, this new wave was forming. And with that awareness was choosing and chasing sunsets over chasing love and creating suffering, was unlocking the chains and breaking the cycle that had been the barriers to my bliss. As I realized a bruised ego and a wounded inner child do not make for good amigos, I realized I needed to become my own best friend and ally, not adversary. This deeper awareness that healing ripples outward like the waves on the lake. Love doesn't always return in the form we expect. Sometimes it returns through doing the work to heal what the generations before you couldn't, wouldn't, or didn't have skills to face. Because this is truly a life skill, emotional intelligence, emotional mastery and management, and understanding who you are and what makes you happy outside of places, people, things, etc. It was so freeing to realize that I was love. I was peace. And as I raised that white flag within, my inner war ceased. Post-Valentine's Day was time to hit the slopes and unleash my inner child, pure bliss and freedom. But first we have to make it there, and as you can see, there was a massive snowstorm dumping across the area, making driving a little bit treacherous. The beauty of snow can really be deceiving. Having grown up in Illinois where we had really heavy snows, I had always understood the need for being prepared, like having water, extra clothes, flashlights, all that stuff. So even though I was prepared, driving there was a little bit scary to say the least. But I trusted, and I captured it on footage so I could share it with you. Enjoy. And I definitely would have preferred a bluebird day instead of this really windy, snowy, hazy, hard to see kind of day. But regardless, I didn't care. I just wanted to go play in the snow and enjoy the freedom of exploring who I was becoming. Someone who gives themselves the love that they used to chase others for. Not waiting for validation, just tuning into my own vibe and rolling with it. Joy now became rebellion, and play became presence and a living embodiment of bliss in each moment.
Yeah, it's about to be on. Can't see because, well, it's foggy, but
I laughed when I fell and got back up and got back on the trail. I reset my groove to I am loved, I am safe, I belong, and I took steps each day toward the epic love I deserve, starting with me. That spirit of adventure, that willingness to play again, was the same energy that would carry me soon back to the ocean. It was proof that joy was rebuilding my courage one bold choice at a time. Especially since I hadn't perfected the on and off of the lift yet, so always hairball for me. Y'all, these snowflakes be falling perfect. Look at that. Bam. Check out these massive snowflakes. They look like little stars.
done a couple runs, having lunch, and going back.
Like I said, I'm a Taurus. I don't leave home without food, especially with gluten and dairy allergies. I found Mount Rose Ski Resort to be a very fun experience, even though the conditions weren't extremely optimal.
Reno. Really cool stuff.
Unfortunately, my new boots were too small and did not serve me well, but I still had a blast. That's all that matters.
Dun, dun, dun. Mom, call it my nature castle. Where'd she go? Oh, she's in the teepee. I'm in the castle.
This time, a new lake and a hike with the BFF, and a little lower elevation, so no snow. Cool finds, though.
Teepee? Teepee. When the bestie finds the best teepee.
You are the sunrise waking my day. You are the moonlight shining my way. This is where I call home. You are the fire warming my night. With you I'll stay till the morning light.
Big trees.
Stop crossing ego's enemy lines and embrace you. Because laughter returns when you do.
Kitty is on my head piano.
Yep.
I want another one.
You want another one?
I want another one on my head.
I don't know if we can make Snapchat do that. What?
Kitty on our head. Good dad. You look like a kitty. Now we're kitties. Dun, dun, dun. on your arm.
I just wanted to take a moment to say thank you. I can't because I'm holding my phone. Thank you for taking time to read my posts, watch my posts, and if you're sharing them, woo woo, massive high fives. I appreciate that too. But yeah, I definitely am excited for what I am bringing to the world, this metamorph strategy that I've birthed through my own healing journey. Ooh, it was a doozy, but it's amazing and I'm excited to share it. The only problem is who am I going to share it with? So I'm looking for 10 to 12 people who know that they're ready to get courageous, to get confident, and to let go of the old toxic experiences that they've had and really master that Maserati, this human body. That drop metamorph in the comments and I'll reach out to you. When words can't hold your feelings, color will. Art can soften time and help you drop into your heart and let your soul speak through the colors, reconnecting with your inner child. Each pour reminds me healing is messy, unpredictable, and breathtaking. Art taught me that life had been trying to tell me I can't control the outcome, but I can create with love. Every color I poured was a map back to myself, a breadcrumb leading to the ocean where I'd soon return. Thanks for joining me on this episode. So much love and gratitude for you. Stay tuned for the next episode where I finally get to take my first camping trip after the winter hiatus. I drive 5 hours to Fort Bragg to answer my call to the ocean along the Pacific Coast Highway and back to the same shores where my awakening first began, where I reclaim the woman who once found her first heart rock there, the woman whose awakening began long before she ever realized it. Giving myself permission to allow my inner child fun and play, I discover what freedom really feels like when you face your fears, take bold action, and realize that no matter what the outside world looks like, with self-love and conscious intentional living, you can indeed reset your groove from ow to wow. I think I know where I'm coming back. You are always at home within your own heart. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and even share with your friends so you can traverse the next trail with me and bring your buddies along too. Stay sovereign, stay self-sourced, and remember, your heart is your home.
It doesn't matter.